Make sure your rear brake works properly. If it doesn't, bleed it before you begin. Remove the seat and tank from your bike. Remove the rear brake master cylinder reservoir cap. It can be helpful to remove the rear master cylinder from the frame. If you have a Japanese brand bike, your rear master cylinder will look like this. We supply 2 sets of O-rings in case you damage one. Make sure the O-ring is flat on the shelf in the bottom of the master cylinder. Install the Rekluse master cylinder brake sleeve and reinstall the master cylinder to the frame. Now tighten the master cylinder brake sleeve. Starting at the number plate, route your brake line down the left side of the frame, crossing in front of the shock to the rear master cylinder. If the brake line seems too long, you can cross over behind the cylinder and come up the right side of the frame. You'll need to make sure there's no interference with the tank when you reinstall it. Locate the square ring seals for the banjo bolt. We include 2 sets in case you damage one. Install one on the banjo bolt. Put the bolt through the banjo fitting and install the second square ring. Adjust the brake line to the final position and tighten the banjo bolt. Install the Rekluse master cylinder between the kill switch and the clutch perch. It can be helpful to move the clutch perch and kill switch aside to make room for you to finish the bleeding process. Snug the master cylinder bolts up, but do not torque them. You'll need to move the master cylinder around during the bleeding process. Install the brake line to the master cylinder. Install the plastic clamps on the syringe hoses. The large one will be used at the rear caliper. The small one will be used at the master cylinder on the handlebar. Fill the syringe to be used at the rear caliper about 3/4 full with brake fluid. Install the hose on the nipple. Try to get all the air out of the hose before you do so. Install the other syringe onto the bleed fitting and tighten the hose clamp. Using the supplied bit, remove the brake master cylinder plug. And install the bleed fitting. Open the bleeder and push fluid into the rear caliper with slow, steady force. If you push too hard, the hose may still blow off the end of the syringe. You should see fluid and bubbles moving into the upper syringe. When there's no longer any bubbles, pull the brake lever. Feel for a firm lever. If it is mushy, continue to bleed. Verify that the rear brake pedal is firm. Remove the clamp and syringe from the rear bleeder. Remove the fitting from the Rekluse master cylinder. Carefully reinstall the bleed port plug. At the rear master cylinder, position the heat shield. Zip tie the brake lines together. Using a non-chlorinated brake fluid, clean your rear rotor. Position the clutch perch and brake lever to your preferred setup. After tightening the bolts, make sure that your clutch lever and brake lever operate freely without interference. Secure the brake line with zip ties, making sure that it's not going to rub or come in contact with your exhaust. Reinstall your tank and seat. Don't forget to hook up your fuel line. Verify that your left-hand rear brake is working properly and go ride.